back to my channel and happy Valentine's Day. Even though I'm totally not really a fan of the holiday, I still decided to do this video because tonight we're actually going like us girls for a girls night out, and I figured because I have to get ready anyways, I might as well just film how I do my makeup and stuff. So if you're interested to see how to recreate this kind of reddish, purplish, smoky eye, which is a great way if you are afraid of like working with those colors, if you're afraid it's gonna look like a black eye, then this tutorial is for you because I don't think it looks like a black eye, honestly. So yeah, it feels really great to be back. You know, you're gonna notice I'm in a new setup. This is my new house, my new bedroom. I have amazing roommates and everything is finally really great. So yeah, I'll be filming a lot more, hopefully, you know, balancing work, school and everything. But yeah, feels good to be back. So if you're interested to see how to recreate this look, then just keep watching the video. Alright, so first I applied my moisturizer from Elizabeth Arden to keep my skin nice and moisturized, and then I obviously wanted to even out my skin tone, so I used my Chanel Perfection Lumiere foundation, and the brush I'm using is the Sigma Dual Fiber F50 brush, which is great for achieving just a very kind of gentle coverage, but at the same time that's gonna really flawlessly even out the skin tone. So I really love this brush for applying foundation. And then to highlight underneath the eyes and also in the center of my face, I'm using my Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer in the lightest shade. And I'm going very far downwards towards my mouth to really brighten up the triangle underneath my eyes. And then I'm going to just add a line on my nose, in between my brows, and also on my jawline. And then I'm going to go back to my foundation brush and just blend out anywhere where I applied the concealer on my face, keeping the under eye untouched. That's actually, I'm going to blend it with my finger just because I feel the warmth of my fingers really blends the concealer a lot better underneath the eyes, just brightens a bit better and also melts the product into the skin a lot better. So that's what I'm doing right here, and as you can see, it really brightens up that area. So I don't do this every single day, but when I really want that kind of extra effect, this is what I love doing to brighten everything up a little bit. And then to set everything into place, I'm using my MAC Studio Fix Powder Foundation. I'm actually going to use two shades. So for the lightest one, I'm using the NC20 shade, and I'm applying it to the center of the face and underneath the eyes. And the brush I'm using for this is the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. And then after that, I'm going to take the darker shade and I'm actually going to contour with it. So just the hollows of the cheeks and also a little bit on the temples and underneath the jawline. And then using the same brush, I'm actually going to use the Diorskin Nude Tan Matte Bronzer in the shade number 3. And I'm actually going to emphasize the contours even more. The reason why I placed the powder foundation in a darker shade first is just because it adds a very subtle contour. But then to add a little bit of extra oomph, I just like to go over with a darker bronzer. And it just helps to blend everything out much better and makes it look far more natural in real life. And then I'm also going to apply it again to the temples to add a bit of warmth and bronziness to the whole face. And then I'm going to move on to the eyebrows. So the first thing I'm going to do is use my MAC Fluidline Brow Gel Cream in the shade Deep Dark Brunette and the Da Vinci Classic Eye Brush 4374, I believe. And I'm just using really small strokes to kind of emphasize the brow hairs, make them a little bit longer on the outer corners, but nothing too crazy. And then I'm going to use my L'Oreal Brow Artist Plumper in the shade Medium Brown to set my brows into place. And that's actually my whole kind of brow routine that I like to do. And now on to the fun part. So I'm using my macroviolet fluid line from MAC, and I'm using the Sigma 3D HD Precision brush to apply it as a base all over my eyelids. This looks really scary and crazy, but you know, sometimes in these tutorials you just have to kind of go with it in order to get the final effect. And then after that, I'm actually going to use the Sigma Pencil E30 brush to actually blend out the same base underneath the eyes and connecting it on the other corner. That's the most important part, and also try to blend it out a little bit down there. For the main color on my eyelids, I'm actually going to use one of my favorite MAC shades, which is the Star Violet, which is a beautiful shimmering rusty red, and I'm using my ring finger to apply it just on the center of my eyelids. Then for the outer corner and the crease, I'm actually going to take the Sigma Medium Angled Shading E70 brush and a mix of MAC's Choco Brown and MAC Carbon, and I'm just going to apply it first on the outer corner, and then with whatever is left on the brush, just kind of emphasize the crease a little bit, and this will add a lot of dimension to the crease. And then I'm going to take the Coastal Scents crease brush and a little bit of MAC's Nylon, and I'm just going to apply it on the brow bone and also in the inner corner to brighten everything up and tie the whole look together. Since I decided that I didn't want to use any false lashes this time, I really wanted to darken up my lash line, so I'm using the L'Oreal Lineur Intense Liquid Liner in the shade Carbon Black to just add a really thin line along the lash line. I'm not doing a wing, nothing like that. I'm just trying to darken up my lash line. Then I'm gonna take this soft kohl from Rimmel in the shade Black, and I'm gonna also tightline my upper and lower lash line to darken everything up. Now I said I wasn't going to use any false lashes, but I am going to add loads of mascara. So first I'm curling my lashes with the Tarte lash curlers, and then I'm going to add tons and tons of layers of the L'Oreal Volume Million Lashes mascara, both on my top and bottom lashes. For the blush today, I'm using the Sigma Beauty blush in the shade Heavenly, and I'm applying it with the MAC 137 brush, which is the softest, most beautiful brush I've ever used. So I'm just very gently applying it just on the apples of the cheeks and then blending it up to the temples. Then with the same brush, I'm going to use one of my holy grail highlighters, which is the Inglot eyeshadow in the shade 453. I don't even know in how many tutorials I've used this eyeshadow as a highlighter. I just freaking love it because it adds a very subtle but intense glow, so I really like that. And this brush is just going to kind of sheer it out a little bit so it's not so intense. Then I'm going to use the soft brown lip liner from NYX just to emphasize my cupid's bow and also the lip line. I'm not overdrawing anything at all. I just wanted to add a bit more structure to my lips. And then after that, I'm going to fill the rest of my lips in with the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in the shade Stockholm, which is a beautiful kind of meaty brown color, which I really like, and I think paired with this look, it looks absolutely great. So that actually finalizes the look. I hope you enjoyed it. So this definitely is a little bit more of a high maintenance look, but you know, sometimes it's just fun to experiment with different products and stuff. So, but looking at the pile of makeup on my desk right now, yeah, definitely high maintenance look. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You can always, you know, alternate all of these steps and make it your own, make it simpler, make it more complicated if you want to. Maybe a bit of glitter on the cheeks, like a little highlight, would be also kind of romantic and nice. But yeah, I just paired it with like kind of tousled waves or curls, whatever. Yeah, if you want to see a tutorial maybe on this, just let me know and I can totally film it for you guys. But yeah, let me know how you like this setup because I'm kind of digging it. I like it. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap up the video right here. If you want to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, or my Facebook page, the links are gonna be below this video at the top of the description box. So you can go and find me there if you want to, and I'll talk to you guys soon in my next video. Bye bye!